Well, they say that good things come to those who wait. And my guest today, Garrett, we've had so many rearrangements, reset invitations, emails, Zoom not working, and even today. And we had a good laugh before we hit record. Third time's a charm. So, welcome to Imperfect, the Heart Centered Leadership Podcast.
Oh, thanks so much, Deb. It's a treat to be here. Clearly, this was meant to be because there was a lot of things trying to block us. So we were supposed to be here.
You know, it's I have these beautiful organic conversations on the show.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you get in the car and you think you're super organized, and then you're like, I forgot my phone. Did I turn the alarm on? Did I turn the stove off? And I've started paying attention to these little gifts or nuances that maybe I wasn't to leave in that moment. You know, I look at all the airline stuff going on right now, and whenever I'm grounded on a plane and they say we're delayed for whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm going to anchor to this moment. We're not to leave right now. And it's really interesting when you start tuning in to really paying attention
Yes.
to those little, I call them little gifts, because I think they have a space and a place in our life.
Yeah.
And I think we weren't meant to talk till today. I really do.
I love it. I'm all in. I believe you. I believe it.
And I've had your questions ready. So like they're just dying to get off this page and out of my heart and out of my mouth. So I'm going to jump in if you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right. So
Let's talk shop.
let's talk leadership, because that's what we do here. We love talking about heart-centered leadership and imperfection. So first question.
Okay.
How do you ensure that your decisions align with your values and inspire purpose in your team?
How do I make sure that my decisions are aligned with my values and that inspires purpose in the team? That was the question.
Yeah.
So do we have 4 podcasts to answer that one? It's just,
you know what? Whatever is sitting on your heart is what needs to be said. And I always love not to give the questions, because then we're having this beautifully aligned, organic conversation. So however you feel you want to answer that, the floor is yours.
Okay. So I have a hypothesis. My hypothesis is that all things business are operational, including leadership. And so in terms of your question, I would actually, for me, I would flip-flop the dependency of decision-making on predefined values. So my thought is, what you value determines your decisions. And then your decisions convert into actions, which become performance, which deliver the outcomes. That's the short of it is, I try to align my decision making with what was already predefined in terms of business values, which are linked to vision and mission.
Absolutely, and could you imagine a world where everyone anchored their decision making with foundational belief and values?
Yeah. I mean,
you'd have a world that trusted each other.
We would.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, if we just look at the siloed container of business alone, I think immediately that would likely put a dent in the 9 in 10 businesses fail stat.
100%. And in heart-centered leadership, I was told for so long it had no place in business acumen. It's the heart of business acumen.
Wow.
It's the center of the Venn diagram, however you want to say it. But you have to have courage and trust and vulnerability to be able to step into your beliefs and your value system, to have that as part of your leadership. And that to me is the work that I get to do. And I know the work that you're doing. So the world needs more of us. So
We're biased, but I sure do agree.
I know. And I put that out there every day. Now, my second question has permanent residency on the show. I have asked over 300 leaders this question, and we are now in 87 beautiful countries, which we're
Amazing.
so proud of in season 5. What imperfections does Garrett bring to his heart-centered leadership? Candor and humor are permitted here.
Oh boy.
And what's the top one that's sitting right there that you go, okay, yeah, this is it, Deb?
I think ambition gets in the way of proper planning. That I fight. I've made lovely headway, by the way, on this area in me as a person, because it's a human trait. It's not just isolated in business, right?
Yeah. When you're that independent, creative, vivid visionary, I'll throw my hat in that ring with you. You can look out and see something, and you can see it, you can visualize it, you can taste it. But then you got to come back and go, okay, we need a structure and some discipline, and we got to start making it happen. But the excitement over the vision can take over. And I don't know if that's an imperfection, but I think it's an entrepreneurial trait. It's one that I see in many people in all different levels of leadership. So
yeah,
it's a good imperfection, though.
I appreciate that. It's tricky because on one hand, lack of, none of, or poor planning always leads to chaos in general. But on the flip side, speed is such an advantage.
It is.
And so balancing that tightrope is the trick. I think it's the name of the game.
And not having everything figured out is okay too.
Is okay. That's right. Yeah.
You got to start, and you got to get muddy, and you got to make mistakes and go, okay, plan A didn't work. Let's go to plan B. But the chaos can work out. And I'll give you a great example, Post-it notes.
Tell me about that.
So when 3M, the gentleman on the line, his name was Art Fry.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember, because I actually met him in my 20s, and I don't remember the complete logistics of the whole story, but they were making a product and they ran out of glue, and the chaos turned out to be pads of Post-it notes. Need I say more? So chaos can also be innovative. It can take you in another direction. It can teach you a story. And I think Post-it notes are doing pretty good because they're in all sizes. They're everywhere.
They're doing pretty good.
So sometimes the chaos is the gift.
Yeah, you know what? I would couch that. I would agree. Contextually, my agreement would be if values, if values believe and determine that chaos as a staple is bad, that you make provision for it, but you don't want to live there.
Yeah.
Like for me, I would agree if that were contextualized in that way. Otherwise, just chaos for the sake of chaos, I think in general, my experience has been it's destructive.
Yeah. Or you can change the connotation to organized chaos and treat it as a welcome center for a thought leadership break to go, okay, we landed here. Where are we going next? I think if we take away the connotation that it's a bad thing, whenever I work with teams in this type of facilitation,
yeah, right,
you want the collective mind dump.
Sure.
The collective mind dump will lead to some chaos, but sometimes there's so much beauty in the chaos, especially with introverts.
Yeah, right. Beauty and imperfection.
Yeah.
And use it as an invitation to grow.
Yeah.
And improve is kind of the point. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Okay, third leadership question. What strategies help you build trust and psychological safety with your team?
I have a few.
I want to hear them.
So they're all framework driven. The first is a framework I refer to as PI, Leadership should eat pie daily. Pie stands for be professional, have integrity, and have empathy.
I love that.
And so, each of those sort of letters has a list of criteria that they live under. But I think it goes back to kind of good old-fashioned kindergarten values, like you do what you say you will do, respect people, don't lie, don't cheat, don't got like just basic human stuff, be a good planner, respect your people with clarity and instructions right? All those sorts of things, eat pie, I think, are great ways to earn trust. Bill Campbell, he was the focus point of the book, The $1 Trillion Coach. And he talks about how you cannot be a trusted leader until you were first earned the respect of a great manager. Because all of the management skills are sort of the building blocks for being followed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Heck, that's enough. That would be my answer for that one.
So it's funny because when you said pie, I wanted to anchor back to our conversation on organized chaos. So you can get into organized chaos when you're heading towards pie, and then here's my candor and humor. And if you hit the organized chaos, you can eat the humble pie and still have a laugh.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Love that. Okay, I love emotional intelligence, and I'm really encouraging my guests in this season 5, to be vulnerable. So I'm going to ask you to finish this sentence and take it wherever you want to go.
All right.
If people really knew me, they would know.
If people really knew me, they would know. They would know that I want the best for them. They would know that I want the best for them. So my context here is business. And in building businesses with people, because that's how, it only happens with people.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes making difficult decisions for the greater good are misinterpreted as being not a nice person, even in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
In general, especially the higher up you are in the organization, the more misunderstood many of your decisions are. And you're often making really difficult decisions that always let down somebody. Always.
Yeah.
And so I've come a long way in that area. Like in my mid-30s, I was win at all cost, including the cost and expense of the people's minds and hearts. I didn't know any better. Now I do. And so I'm very, very mindful by design through architecture of the people and their mind and their heart. And so that's why I'm just giving you the why behind why I would answer the question that way, finish the statement that way.
And, I think what you just beautifully framed is assertive leadership. And a lot of people, and I can tell you that because I teach that at college, a course on assertive leadership, it is misconstrued quite often with aggressive leadership. Because people haven't had it modeled or understand the definition or the behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that is a great way to frame that. Okay, I'm going to switch over to my fun Fab 4.
Okay.
If you could give our beautiful listenership one practical tip to embrace heart-centered leadership into their daily lives, what would it be?
Seek to understand. Seek to understand. Because I think most of us, me, I think natively we seek to judge.
Absolutely.
And we just exhale judgment and we exhale assumption. And so that's why I'm a big fan of that one.
I'm a yoga teacher. I'm gonna quote you on that. Say that again.
Seek to understand. seek to understand, because our native exhale, I think, generally as humans, is to first judge and make assumptions and then calibrate later. But usually it's too late.
Yeah. Wise words. Okay, this is my question that I love asking.
Okay.
Second question, if your leadership style had a theme song, Garrett, what would it be?
Oh no. That means there need to be a music aficionado here.
Not necessarily. I know there's some favorite songs sitting in your mind. I love this question because I get every genre of music and it gives people such a great laugh.
Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even know where to.
What's one of your favorite songs?
Oh, nothing that would apply. I mean,
It doesn't have to apply. Who you are as a person and a man and a husband and a dad, all the things show up in your leadership. I always say in the Heart-Centered Leadership Playbook, I talk about the intersection of life and leadership, and all of Garrett shows up when he's doing whatever he's doing, coaching, building businesses, facilitating. What's a favorite song? Like when you get in the car and you can either turn on your favorite song or your favorite song comes on the radio, what's the one that it's a song that it gives you that 3 to 5 minutes of, oh, I love this song.
Deb, so I'm increasingly leaning into AI, and increasingly I'm building my own, small language models inside of GPTs, inside of ChatGPT Plus. So, I have literally probably 100 pages of journals. So I asked my GPT, hey, you know me. What based on what you know about my leadership style, what would be my theme song? Do you want to hear what it gave me?
I do.
Stronger by Kanye West.
See, I rest my case.
Stronger. It says, why? High energy and strive, efficiency and execution, transformational leadership. They also said a strong second contender would be Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Oh, wow. And see, that is a song. My husband and I love that song. I love the movie. I just love who he is and what he's done with his life and what he stands for.
Yeah.
And I love his vulnerability. Like, talk about converting your pain into something for the greater good.
Yeah.
When he just recently teamed up with Jelly Roll and sang his song, Somebody Save Me.
Yeah.
Bring me to tears. Like, this bump moments, right? That's the space of imperfection and heart-centeredness and vulnerability that I want to hang out in.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah, connecting with people not because of their extrinsic value or the credentials after their name, but just that human to human and having fun. And now you know what your two songs are. So when you hear those, I hope you have a mnemonic and it makes you think of me, right? I love that.
Of course it will.
Oh, that is so funny. Okay, third question. If you could summarize one key takeaway or lesson from our discussion today, what would it be?
It would be this really lovely reminder that the workplace is filled with fellow humans that are really beautiful. Like we're talking about, strip all the business away. We're fellow humans working together to pay our bills. And that's it. Even when you were talking about, Eminem, and talking about building relationship, not because of titles or status, but just having fellow humanity in common. I think that's forgotten in the workplace.
It is. I can tell you that.
We're all equal.
We are
all equal. We just have different titles that all synchronize together for the greater good. That's my really lovely reminder of today's conversation.
And, we get caught up on that extrinsic post-COVID with in-person and hybrid and remote. Connection is connection. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And let's stop muddying the waters and making that so foggy that there's no clarity, because it doesn't have to be that way. It's a new world, and connection is still alive and well. AI will never take away from this.
No,
It'll never replace this.
I do agree with
And
that.
at the end of the day, connection with someone, well, my definition of heart-centered leadership is honoring your connection with people, full stop.
Mm.
It's not about reciprocity. It's not transactional. It's about connection. It's about sharing a conversation, a coffee, a problem. It doesn't matter. It's that moment in time that captures two people who block out all the rest of the world and just have a meaningful conversation.
Yeah, be present, right?
For no other purpose.
Not distracted. I love it.
I love that. Okay, I'm going to ask you to finish the show by finishing this sentence for me.
Okay.
Heart-centered leadership is
honestly and authentically based on values, organizing people to unify with low stress and high happiness, so the whole entire organization wins according to what they want.